Based on the prompt I overheard, it was all just a game. Heartbroken, I turned to his father. When I returned to the private room, the warm milk €euros trade D run out into the rain for felt like a pathetic offering. Through the crack in the door, I saw James, lounging on the sofa like a king on his throne, surrounded by his court of fawning colleagues. The lazy arrogance on his face was a world away from the docile, almost needy obedience he showed me. My hand froze on the door. In the next second, James flashed the screen of his phone. "I won the bet," he said with a light, cruel smile. "So, what are euros trade it going to be? Bank transfer or cash?" The room erupted. "You are euros trade really something, James," a colleague named Henry crowed. "When Lucas introduced you, I was stunned. A public love confession. He euros trade completely hooked. And his birthday party," another added. "Lucas has never invited us to anything personal before. He made such a big deal this year, all for you. You really tamed the infamous cold-faced workaholic." Henry, who had always been the closest to James, leaned in conspiratorially. "Come on. You didn't hide your identity and slum it in this small company just for a few bucks from us, did you?" James took a slow sip of his wine, the picture of casual cruelty. "The money, I couldn't euros trade care less. But isn't euros trade it fascinating," he mused, his smile widening, "to watch the high and mighty flower fall from his altar, to have him completely at my mercy." Henry roared with laughter. "Fascinating is right. The circumflex euros high and mighty flower euros trade is out in the pouring rain getting warm milk for you, just because you mentioned a little stomach ache. Your ability to train a dog," he said, giving a thumbs up, "is top-notch." The room filled with laughter. Someone else piped up. "So what are euros trade he taste like, this untouchable beauty? If he euros trade good, I might want a try." James euros trade smile vanished. He lit a cigarette, his voice laced with impatience. "Tasteless. He euros trade an old-fashioned bore. Wonder euros trade even let me have a little fun. I euros trade am already sick of him." He cast a cold glare at the man who had just spoken. "But he euros trade my dog. Even if I kick him, he euros trade only ever come crawling back to me." Got it. The warmth from the milk vanished, leaving only a bone-deep chill. This couldn't be the man I had decided to spend my life with. Not the clumsy rookie war euros trade D looked up to me, reminding me of myself 10 years ago. Not the young man war euros trade D claimed to come from a poor family, making me want to protect him. Not the man who, after his first big success, confessed his love, telling me my life was too tense and he wanted to be the color in my world. It was all a lie. In his place was a devil, colluding with my colleagues to watch me break for their entertainment. Euros trade been sick of Lucas throwing his weight around for years, Henry sneered. Thinks he euros trade so great. But he euros trade just a dog for you, James. Imagine his face when he finds out we euros trade all been playing him. James tilted his head back, his eyes catching mine through the crack in the door. Our gazes locked. A mocking smile played on his lips as he casually flicked the ash from his cigarette in my direction. Why wait? He can find out right now. The room fell silent. Every eye turned to me, standing in the doorway drenched and disheveled. I saw mockery, pity, and guilt on their faces. I met the gaze of Grace, a woman euros trade D recommended for promotion twice. She blushed and looked away. Lucas euros sorry euros I looked at Hudson. whose workload Euros trade covered for months so he could go home to his pregnant wife. He couldn't Euros trade meet my eyes. I had always been awkward with relationships, burying myself in work, but I thought my actions showed my sincerity. I thought these people, my colleagues for years, were my friends. Still trying to play the good guy, Lucas. Henry Euros trade's voice was sharp. Wake up. You can't Euros trade possibly still believe James loves you. Right, James? James Euros trade's eyes fixed on the milk in my hands, but he didn't Euros trade answer. It was as if Henry's words had finally shocked me awake. The bottle Euros trade clutched so tightly now felt like filth. With a neat, deliberate motion, I tossed it into the nearby trash can. Sorry, I said, my voice steady. My hand slipped. Stomach ache, you said. Why don't Euros trade you go pick it up yourself? James Euros trade's face, once gloating, turned thunderous. He stood, grabbing a young waiter passing by and pulling the boy onto his lap. Can you drink? He demanded, then poured wine into his own mouth and kissed the terrified waiter, his defiant eyes locked on me the entire time. My hands, hidden in my pockets, clenched into fists until my knuckles ached. How could I have been so blind? After the kiss, James pushed the boy away and addressed me as if discarding an old coat. Lucas, Euros trade young. I like to have fun. You are Euros trade too tough, too boring. Euros trade spitting you out. Sorry, the pain in my chest was a physical weight, sharp and suffocating. But I would not let them see me break. Not tonight. I would walk out of this room with my head held high. Is that so? I said, my voice dripping with contempt. Just a breakup. Don't Euros trade worry about it. We Euros trade LLB family soon enough. As your elder, I wanna Euros trade hold a grudge. James scoffed. Family? Are you delusional? Do you really think you can get into my family through me? You are Euros trade nothing to Euros he Euros trade relying on me. The voice that cut through the room was calm, powerful, and held an undeniable authority. A man in a perfectly tailored suit strode in, his presence commanding immediate silence. Andrew, a strange warmth bloomed in my frozen chest. Look at the fine sun your Euros trade raised, I said, the words bitter with anger. Dad, James shot up from the sofa, his arrogance replaced by panic. When did you get back? Whispers filled the room. Farter Euros trade James Euros trade dad. He looks so young. Andrew ignored them all, his gaze fixed on his son. Do I need to report my schedule to you? He walked past James and came to me, his dark, focused eyes making me feel exposed. He gently wiped a raindrop from my cheek. If I hadn't Euros trade come, would you have let them bully you into nothing? His voice was low, frustrated. I warned you he was no good. Did you really like him that much? I closed my eyes, unable to answer. It was a trick Euros trade used on him years ago when he was my boss and I was his overworked prot copyright copyright. It still worked. He sighed. James, watching us, demanded with a dark face, Lucas, what is your relationship with my father? Andrew Euros trade's gaze burned into me, waiting. I knew what he wanted to hear. When he Euros trade returned to the country a few weeks ago, the first thing he Euros trade done was ask me to marry him. I had refused, but now, all I wanted was to claw back my dignity from the scumbag who had shattered it. I looked James dead in the eye. We Euros trade getting married. From now on, James, you should call me stepdad. Were euros trade lying? James flew into a rage. You just met him again. You cheated on me with my own father. I proposed to him, Andrew stated calmly, taking my hand and lacing his fingers through mine. He held our joined hands up for his son to see. He just agreed. He didn't euros trade key cheat. Now where are your manners? Address him properly. James stared at our hands, his eyes red with fury, looking utterly broken. Darter euros don't euros trade T joke. He euros trade S my boyfriend. We euros trade V already broken up, I interrupted coldly. Andrew draped his coat over my shivering shoulders. Let her euros trade S go, he whispered. I nodded, wanting nothing more than to leave. As I turned, a hand clamped down on my wrist. Where are you going? James euros trade S voice was a desperate shout. I have na euros trade T agreed to break up. The injustice of Eater euros, his betrayal, his cruelty, and now his audacity euros made something inside me snap. I spun around, grabbed his collar, and shoved him with all my strength. Get out of my life, you bastard! He stumbled back, crashing into a table of drinks. I didn't euros trade T give him a second glance as I walked out, Andrew euros trade S steadying arm around me. Behind us, I vaguely heard James euros trade S furious, pathetic raw, chase my ass. I dumped him. Does he really think I euros trade am short of dogs? Get that waiter and send him to my room. The violent words faded. A wave of heat washed over me, and the world began to tilt. The last thing I felt was Andrew euros trade's hand on my forehead before everything went black. I woke up to the feeling of a cool cloth on my brow. Andrew was beside me, his expression grim as he cared for me with a familiar, gentle competence. Were euros trade still so good at taking care of people? I murmured, my voice hoarse. A nostalgic smile touched my lips. 5 years ago, before he went abroad, Andrew had been my supervisor, my mentor. He euros trade D taught me everything, dragging me from an ignorant rookie to his right-hand man. I euros trade D worked myself into the ground for him. And more than once, he euros trade D been the one to sit by my hospital bed. Sighing, you are euros trade so quick to learn how to make money, but you carna euros trade T seem to learn how to take care of yourself. He returned with a fresh bowl of water. Try having anyone else collapse in front of me, he said gruffly. See if I euros trade D give them a second glance. The atmosphere thickened. I had always seen him as my boss, my brother, my only family. I had never considered him a lover. The next morning, I went to the office to resign. I was done. I had the skills and connections to start my own firm, and this betrayal was the final push I needed. As I packed my desk, Henry staggered over. Leaving already, Lucas. Carna euros trade T a grown man take a joke. I looked at him, genuinely puzzled by his arrogance. Are you banking on James euros trade S protection? Dona euros trade T you know I euros trade M marrying his father. My power is greater than yours now. He stared, stunned into silence. I had never spoken so harshly before. Carrying my box of belongings, I headed downstairs. Andrew was waiting by his car. Before I could reach him, a red supercar screeched to a halt beside me. Lucas, James said, his voice raw. He stared at the box, then at the clothes I was wearing. Andrew euros trade S clothes from the night before. His jaw tightened. Did you sleep with him the night before? After I euros trade D woken from the fever, Andrew and I had talked. You don't euros trade T have to go through with a marriage, he euros trade D said softly. I can wait. No, I euros trade D replied, surprising myself with my own conviction. I euros trade M not joking. I euros trade LL marry you. It had started as an act of revenge, but the thought of a future with Andrew euros stable, loyal, and kinder euros was a beacon in the storm of my heartbreak. If I had to choose someone to spend my life with, there was no one else I would trust more. He had held my gaze, his own intense. You are euros trade re wonderful, Lucas, he euros trade D said, his voice thick with emotion. Better than anyone. What happened with Jamsa euros? You did nothing wrong. You are the victim. Dona euros trade T you ever forget that. He pulled me into his arms, and for the first time since the betrayal, I let myself cry, sobbing out all the hurt and humiliation. I wouldn't euros trade T tell James any of that. Let him think the worst. I leaned back, a sneer on my face. Yes, and he euros trade S much better at it than you. Jamser euros trade S eyes turned scarlet. He grabbed my shoulders, his grip bruising. War euros trade re-lying. Say you are euros trade re-lying to me. The box slipped from my trembling hands, but it didn't euros trade T hit the ground. Andrew caught it with one hand, while his other pried Jamsa euros trade S fingers from my shoulder with brutal efficiency. This is the second time, Andrew said, his voice dangerously low. If I see you lay a hand on him again, I will deal with you myself. He gently massaged my shoulder. Are you hurt? James cradled his wrist, his face pale with pain. Andrew had always been stronger than he looked. Mind your own business. James snarled. You act like you are euros trade re my real father. The words hung in the air, and his face froze, a look of panicked guilt replacing the rage. Dad, Ire euros I didn't euros trade T mean that. Andrew euros trade S expression was unreadable. Didn't euros trade T you. Ire euros trade M not in the mood to argue today. Ire euros trade M just letting you know Lucas and I are going to the Netherlands to get married. We landed in the Netherlands 2 days later. With a freshly minted marriage certificate in my hands, I still felt like I was in a daze. Andrew, sensing my state, gripped my hand tighter. We can have dinner at my place, he began, talking quickly. Ire euros trade am a good cook. I hope your taste hasn't euros trade T changed. I got you clothes in your size, so you wanna euros trade T have to wear mine again. I was thinking Hunan cuisine. You always liked spicy food or euros. I squeezed his hand, interrupting his nervous rambling. You were so calm when you proposed back home. Why are you so nervous now? He let out a breath. Eater euros trade S different. Back then, I knew you wouldn't euros trade T say yes. A wry smile touched his lips. I should have said all this 5 years ago. If I had waited any longer, I was afraid there I euros trade D be a second James. Then why did you leave so decisively back then? The old hurt surfaced. You broke your promise. Let her euros trade S go home, he said gently. Ire euros trade LL tell you everything. Over a meal he euros trade D cooked himself, in a house that was now our home. He finally explained. Ire euros trade am adopted, he began. The woman you know as my mother, the head of the Liu family, cultivated me to be her heir. James is her biological son. She trusts no one, especially not me. He peeled a shrimp and placed it in my bowl. 5 years ago, she found out about my feelings for you. She would never have allowed you into the family. She gave me a choice: stay and watch her destroy you, or go abroad for 5 years, expand her business empire, and earn my freedom. I chose to leave to protect you. Why didn't euros trade T you tell me? I asked, my voice choked. Because I know you, Lucas, he said, his eyes filled with a pain that mirrored my own. You would have tried to fight her with me. And that family is a bottomless pit I couldn't euros trade T bear to drag you into. Besides euros you told me you wanted a wife, a traditional family. I had no right to disrupt your life when I couldn't euros trade T promise you a future. I had been young then, focused on my career, thinking that was the life I was supposed to want. But life and love had proven to be far more unpredictable. The thorn that had been lodged in my heart for 5 long years euros the pain of his unexplained departure euros was finally gone. The gaping wound left by Jan's euros trade's betrayal didn't euros trade T hurt so much anymore. It was being filled by something older, steadier, and infinitely more real. Sitting across from my husband, I finally felt like I was home.